Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerdarchist Dave.
And today we have a GM 911 from Dicey UK, and he's got a problem where the player won't keep his hands to his own character.
If you guys have a problem in your game, you can send us your GM 911 via the forums at nerdarchy.com like this one, or you can send it over to nerdarchy@gmail.com.
Alright, so Dicey UK, he's got a problem, and the players slash characters are kind of at odds about what's going on with characters' choices. So we've got a half-orc paladin who has manipulated the game through feat choices and whatever have you.
And sacrificed the level.
And sacrificed the level.
Here's the most interesting thing, right? He actually has, actually has levels of druid, so he can have an animal companion, but his animal companion is technically human. He is a pet human.
He's got a lycanthrope, and apparently it spends most of its time in either wolf or hybrid form. It doesn't really do
No. Most of the time in human form, and ineffective in combat.
Ah, okay. I read the part about it being not in combat.
Yeah.
I just was assuming since it was an animal companion, it's not.
Yeah. So the idea was that the NPC and the PC hasn't really discovered that it can control that it's shape shifting. So it hasn't been a problem for the half orc in the game.
Right.
It's not it's not been overly powerful as in combat because it's not getting used, and really the player of the half orc just really enjoys having this.
Right.
But this is where the problem really stems from.
The problem is there is a monk in the party who has taken his lawful nature to an extreme and is willing to commit resources to curing the NPC of their lycanthropy via a potion. Now, the DM says, well, I'm stuck at a point because if I allow the potion to work, the half-orc paladin is going to have wasted resources. Be upset as a player. And be upset because it's going to mess up his character concept. If I tell the monk that the potion doesn't work, he's going to feel upset because it's going against what his character would do, and he has committed resources towards doing this. So he wants to say, I want to let the potion fail, but what other choices does he have? So,
and he also brings up the fact that the monk is like, this is what I feel my character would do.
Right.
But here's the problem with that argument, and this is always basically you're using that as a cop-out and excuse to basically be a dick to another player. Like, this player doesn't want that to happen. Like, why can't you just tweak your character to not care if he has the lycanthrope, animal companion, familiar, whatever it is, instead of mucking with his character? Or if it bothers you that much, maybe your character should leave the party, and retire and become an NPC, make a new character.
Right.
See, right, when you flip it around like that, we're being a dick to your character, and you probably don't like it. Well, that's what you're doing to the other person's character when you're trying to change it, and they don't want to change it. It's one thing if it changes in the course of gameplay and through machinations of the DM and the character's choices. But, and also you're trying to, how do you give the potion to this thing? You're going to have to force feed it or trick it, right? Into doing it. And maybe it likes its lycanthropic nature. Maybe it's a natural lycanthrope and was born that way. That's also a very strong possibility as well.
Because if it's naturally a lycanthrope,
you can't cure it.
You can't cure it. It's just born that way. So there's different ways of looking at it. Number one, how much does the NPC interact within the party? Is it a tag-along that's just kind of there because the player wants it, or it's set up to, I want to be a lycanthrope later on in life, and this thing is eventually going to make a change to me, hint, hint, hint to the DM. Or is it something that is kind of like your son in my game? He wants to have interesting pets, and this is something that he just wants to have. And, David would get upset if one of the party members in my game would decide, you know what, I don't like you having a pseudo-dragon. It's made too many jokes or, pissed me off by playing a prank. I'm going to kill it. Well, it'd be very easy to kill it.
It's got like 2 hit points.
Maybe a little more than that at this point in time, but your character invested time and energy making it armor. you know, he uses it for a variety of purposes, but most of the time it's just kind of there. So, like, he doesn't want his pets in combat because it's basically he's a Pokemon dude. He just wants to have creatures. Whatever. So, if the NPC doesn't want to drink the potion and the player character is like, dude, don't try and make her drink that, then it's going to be a contest between the two players when realistically you could have an RP moment where it's like, you get the two players to stand and talk. It's like, all right, why do you feel so strongly about making her go against her nature? If this is what she is, you know, pull in the religious angle as the paladin. It's like, oh, he worships nature. Perhaps this is what she was destined to be. She is more natural now. It's more the way of things because it's gone this way. It's happened this way. Maybe that's what she's meant to be.
Yeah. Oh, you could totally, like, if this character is a druid paladin. So if that paladin, the paladin aspects of religion involve nature, like you're implying, you could totally be like, this is a chosen of my God, blah blah blah. This is a holy and secret rite and passage, and you're interfering with it. I cannot allow, blah blah blah. And the other thing too is, what do the other players at your table think? How many other players do you have? And how do they weigh in on it? Like, do they care one way or the other? You know, so you know, maybe the player can kind of like get them on their side, and you know,
you don't want to get it where the party is going to, you know, draw a line and it becomes a battle over this one particular thing. And believe me, I've been in that situation, and all players wound up, you know, finding amusement at that time because the player who did die was like, I'm making this choice. And once he made that choice, he realized that the other player wound up doing the machinations to get everyone else on their side. And it was like, well, I lost that fight, I died. And it could be a situation of like, all right, well, I'll stand down. I'm not happy with this choice, but, you know, we have been comrades for X amount of time. I will let this go for you.
Yeah, or yeah, again, always could be also the out of game conversation of, hey, this is really going to screw up the game. Can you stop?
Right.
You know, as the GM, you know, you can just be like, or whatever, or like we said, you can make it a natural lycanthrope and be like, oh, there's nothing you can do, literally.
Right.
So I mean, those are kind of your options. Hopefully, down in the comments below, you'll get even more options as you find folks. Drop those in the comments below while you're at it. Like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out some funny memes and conversations over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.